Hey everybody, this is Scott. You know, like hundreds of thousands of other people, I got my new iPhone 4 last week. And I gotta tell you, I think this is a great device for small businesses and solopreneurs to be able to capture information and really increase their productivity. But one of the great things about this device is the new iMovie. And the fact that we can take 720p video with our phone and be able to edit that video right within the device itself, to me is fantastic. So when I start thinking about training applications, when I start thinking about marketing applications, when I start thinking about being out in the field and being able to communicate immediately with other people, I see tremendous potential in this for small businesses and solopreneurs. So what I thought I would do is I thought I would give you a quick walkthrough and share 5 key tips that I've learned this past weekend by playing with the new iMovie. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, step number 1. I encourage you to shoot lots of shorter clips rather than one big long clip. Here's why. The new iMovie doesn't allow you to split a clip. So if you have a long clip, it becomes very cumbersome to try to edit that. Now what you can do is you can take 2 long clips, combine them, and trim the edges a little bit, but that's kind of cumbersome. If you shoot lots of shorter clips, it's easier to drop those into the timeline, trim it, and then have nice transitions between those shorter clips. The other added benefit of having lots of shorter clips is the fact that you can change the lower third between those individual clips. You can only have one lower third across a long clip. If you have shorter clips, you can change that lower third. So for example, if you're doing an interview and you wanted to spice it up a little bit, you could change what that lower third is. Maybe that lower third is the first question. And then the separate video would become the lower third would have that second question. And this is also great for processes, training, how-tos, where you could say step 1, have that video. Step 2 would then be the second video. So you're seeing some examples here on the screen, so you start to get a feel for what I'm talking about. Tip 2 is to add bumpers, and bumpers is sort of video speak, but basically it's an opening or a closing. Now I encourage you to create that in Keynote. This way you can make sure that it has the same aspect ratio. You can get your graphics nice and tight. You know exactly what it's going to look like. And because you can add some ending transitions to iMovie on the iPhone, this allows you to add closing credits and then a really nice smooth fade to black at the end of your video. Tip number 3, iMovie likes to use the Ken Burns effect automatically on your images. So like if you bring in external images from Keynote or wherever, pinch in to get the full screen, so then you can see the start and the end is the exact same when you pinch it in. Tip number 4. You know, one of the great things about the new iPhone is that you're going to be able to upload this directly to YouTube. However, it's not going to be the highest quality. What I noticed is that you really can't export 720p HD video directly from your iPhone. So when you publish your videos and it appears in your camera roll and then you try to share that to YouTube, it's not going to be quite as sharp as if you were to import that into iPhoto and take it from iPhoto and share that with YouTube. And I'm not too sure why Apple did that. I'm sure it has something to do with uploading a heavy, a large file into YouTube. But I encourage you, if you need to be immediate, go ahead and export it directly from your iPhone. If quality is of the utmost concern, export it from iPhoto after you get back to your desk and you sync it with your iMac, or you sync it with your Mac. And finally, what I wanted to do is I wanted to share with you a great way to capture those self videos. Now, what I did is I've got a monopod here, but what I could have done is I could have taken a broomstick or any type of stick, and I just created a little, got one of those little bungee cords and a piece of foam. Now, this allows me to take and hold up my iPhone and really be able to shoot myself, and I get really good video, and as you can see, I can really position this any number of ways, and I can video myself going around. Now, this allows you to capture a much more natural presentation. So if I was talking to my camera on the tripod over here, that's fine, but if I was out in the field, as you saw in some of the other videos, I can talk directly to the camera. You're going to notice a little bit more shaking, so you got to try to keep your hands still, and I know that's hard, but it's a great way to capture those in the field self-promo shots if you're just out and about. And finally, what I thought I would do is I'd put all 5 tips into practice. So here's a finished movie summarizing the 5 key tips to get the most out of iMovie. Tip number 1, use lots of short little clips. This is going to help you with your editing, and it's going to allow you to put in lower thirds across each individual clip. Tip number 2, add bumpers, or basically images, at both the beginning and the end of your movie. Tip number 3, kill the Ken Burns effect by pinching in on your images to make sure both the starting and the ending transition are the same size. Tip number 4, export directly from your iPhone if you're more concerned about getting the speed and getting it up to YouTube quickly. But if you're concerned about quality, export directly out of iPhoto. And finally, tip number 5, go ahead and create a self-portrait boom if you want to create your own videos and be able to talk to the camera naturally.